So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Once again, thank you for joining us on this continuing series of navigation, moments of time in which we stop and um, read the energies of the day and begin to recognize how we may be able to navigate the the unfolding chaos that's around us. And now, without shadow of a doubt, we will begin to see and are seeing that it seems that the various strands of narrative, the pandemic narrative, the government in charge narrative, the data narrative, the safety narrative, the athletes dying of cardiac arrest narrative, all of these narratives are starting to now, some of the later ones are starting to now contradict and demonstrate that the government is in chaos. The government has been lying. They have betrayed, and we have to look at it beyond the individual, certainly in Britain at this moment, with those who have been elected into power, or selected. And so you can see the narrative on the pandemic is now falling apart. New data is emerging. The increasing number of fatalities and illnesses within E-class athletes cannot be ignored anymore. That's one narrative. The controlling government narrative, that's falling. But we have to focus beyond the individual, because one person doesn't have a party. There's a group of people. And this group of people who betrayed the nation in some of their darkest moments, and in fact propagated it. Parents could not be consoled for bereavement of their children, or vice versa. People weren't allowed to sit together. While the oppressors, the tyrants who had put these measures on, all collectively met, let that sink in, collectively met and betrayed the trust of those who had entrusted these individuals with power and authority. So a few weeks back, we spoke about, is authority our truth, or is truth our authority? And depending on where we allow our allegiance to lie, will have the appropriate consequences. So you can imagine the feeling of betrayal that must be felt by those who trusted their authority and not the truth, because the truth is being revealed now. But they trusted the authority because the authority gave them the illusion that they could be trusted through the use of those emotional programming, those triggers such as following the science, or, for example, providing lots and lots of intricate data, which the average individual has no real way of making sense of. And using this as a way of propping up their narrative. To be discovered that individuals have been betrayed is now going to have the consequence. And the consequence we can anticipate. The consequence we can anticipate of disbelief, shock, which will increasingly become anger, which increasingly will become guilt, which increasingly will become resentment. And these are emotional states that can be quite violent. So you can anticipate this energy becoming more and more persistent and present as we move into spring. While this is happening, what is important to bear in mind is that the holding pattern, the pattern of propaganda, emotional programming aspects, holding the narrative, that holding pattern has started to crack up. And this is what it's doing. This crack up is now what we're starting to see. And that's the good news. That's the news that we recognize now, that the paradigm that the mainstream media in particularly have been um, uh, extremely uh, present and extremely deliberate in their actions to answer those who have been betrayed. And so while this betrayal begins with at the highest level at the moment, certainly in England, and as it's coming out throughout the world, there will be other elements. That this betrayal that begins with this officialdom, the officialdom begins to then be seen for what they are. And that lack of trust, that betrayal will now, has already created a level of mistrust. And once that mistrust is in place, there is a real hope in humanity, certainly in the local humanity geographically, to be able to direct the narrative in a way that is cohesive, that is not division, that it does not contribute to the division, the divide that has happened. And we all know what the divide is now. But it's not to contribute to that, but to find ways of creating a holistic way of moving forward and start addressing some of these inhumane practices in our care, in our schooling, in our social services, and see where compassion fits in. Because it appears that we are more into the profound and ridiculous and absurd sterile conditions that we are quarantining ourselves within, particularly in our health places. But we have taken it to a level in which there is no life, there is no prana now left in these health spaces. And therefore, when you walk into these health spaces, be it hospitals, be it doctor surgeries, it drains you of your life force. It doesn't add to it, it drains you from it. Why? Because there is none there. All the plants have been taken out. It's become ultra sterile. And it's important for us to realize that this environment propagates a very divisive, very hardline division where there is no room for compassion, where there is no room for compassion from a life force. You know, compassion isn't just about human beings. Compassion is also about the trees that give off the oxygen, take the carbon dioxide. That too is a compassionate act. The compassion of the plants, the flowers, the bees, everything has a giving to it, a giving aspect to it, a giving without expectation aspect to it, for the welfare of another, for the growth of another. And this is this Puranic life force that is profoundly absent in such health venues. So maybe this is now a time, as these systems begin to fall apart, is to begin to look at how do we as a communal groups or communities look after for those who have been impacted, those who have been betrayed and are suffering. How do we provide something that can assist them in this dark time which is starting to emerge as a result of the betrayal? What if the one has been betrayed into taking an action that's irreversible? And that's the crux. when you have been betrayed, in which you have betrayed your very self in wanting to provide compassion or console and one in pain, but not being allowed to by another. That betrayal is an energy that has consequences. So the consequences of placing our trust in our authority and then identifying who is our authority is now a hard lesson that we are learning as humanity. That our authority that has been placed in governments have been betrayed and will be betrayed. Your authority that you have put in the biomedical model, in the pharmaceutical, that too is betraying you now and will continue to betray you until we wake up and realize what's being done to us. Our financial system that we have worked hard to contribute it to, that too is coming to a level of betrayal. And all this betrayal creates an energy, and that energy doesn't go anywhere. It has to be transformed. For where does it go? This energy that is rising now at a global level, which has elements of anger and elements of betrayal, of resentment, of conflict, of riots, of protest. As this energy rises, you will find that this too begins to impact all that's around us, including the earth, including earth changes, including weather changes. Why? Because everything is energetic. And our state of being is a contributing factor to the overall fluidity of the energy matrix that we're all part and parcel of. So this process that we are undergoing at the moment, it's important to recognize that while it's important to navigate through the dramas that are unfolding around us, recognize that they are dramas, nothing to get too concerned about. It is also important to recognize that nothing can stop what is happening. Nothing. That this in parasitic systems, identifying those which are not symbiotic and those which are not for the communal, for the whole welfare, are now becoming redundant and are starting to lose their grip on the minds of humanity. So it's a phenomenally auspicious time that we are in. It is important to recognize that through the interaction of those things around us, it has an impact on our health, on our mental space, on our emotional space, our transpersonal space, and our physical space. So maintain your practice, your meditation, maintain heart-centered practices, wherever possible, heart-centered practices. And this is the year now where we are discovering the value of our hirda, our heart, and how profound the human heart is, not just in self-care, but restoration of self, of restoration of peace, restoration of hormonal balance, restoration of tranquility, and balance and homeostasis of our life. So there is going to be much emphasis on on what the hirda space is and what this can do now in the moment of need for humanity, not just for ourselves, but for those who are increasingly going to need support as they discover the level of betrayal that has been perpetrated on individuals. And it is not going to stop. This is now simply a unfolding of the next element of the change that we as humanity need to go through, including the earth changes and everything else that's accompanying here. And while all this chaos is going on, important to hold your practice, important to remind yourself where you are, and as far as you are, where you are, notice how your emotional space is. And through that, we can balance and navigate ourselves through. Disengage from the dramas. They're of no consequence. They are going to change every moment by moment. Yeah. Entertainment value, fantastic. But serious, nah, don't take it too seriously. It is what it is. This is the way life is. And welcome to the unfolding nature of existence. We are not in control, and we are being shown we are not in control. So, while the chaos is going on, let us take a moment of opportunity to stop, to be present, to become still, and to share this space of silence. The one thing that we can all share is silence. And if we consistently do something and we end up in the same space, then it means that that space exists as a truth. And that space exists as a truth. And therefore, within that space exists everything. So silence is like a pregnant quantum field in which everything is present. And by sitting and residing and being in that stillness, that silence, we too, through the act of listening, begin to receive all that pregnant space of infinite possibilities has to share with you. So let us share that peace and contribute through resonance in the society that we are all part of. So eyes are closed, mouth is closed. Straighten your back. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your body as a whole. Begin to notice your posture. Allow your posture to soften somewhat. The power of intent can help clear our chi. So if you imagine that there is a hula hoop above your head, and this hula hoop is going to act like a scanner, but not just a scanner, it's going to shift all the stale energy that we have within ourselves all the way out. So begin from the top of the head. Allow this hula hoop to begin to come down. And as it comes, it flushes all the stale energy throughout your body into the ground beneath you. Bring your focus now to your breath just beneath your nose. And as the breath comes in, see if you can take your focus just near your belly button. In fact, behind your belly button. The breath comes in, your focus goes with the breath towards your belly button. And as the breath goes out, allow the breath to escape, taking all that stale within you out. Breathing in, we take our focus towards our belly button. Relax, shifting all this stale energy to the ends of the universe. We do this for 8 breaths. Allowing that breath to move to your belly button. And as it lifts, as the breath starts to move out, taking all that stale within you out. Now bringing your focus just beneath your nose. Take your focus to the seat that you're on. The point at which your body makes contact with the ground or the chair or seat you're on. Notice the sensations. As you breathe in, bringing your focus up towards your hips. As you breathe out, you move it down towards your knees, scanning your thighs. And then moving down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. Soles of your feet as best as you can. And all we're doing at this stage is simply becoming aware and becoming present, embodied within ourselves through this simple body scan. Coming back to the chair that you're on or the seat. Now we scan the back. So as you breathe in, you move this focus up, moving towards your middle back, up towards your shoulder blades, and then coming to your shoulders. Notice the back of your neck. And if you were to pull your chin in slightly, you will notice the back of the neck stretches. Bring your focus down from your shoulders to your elbows, moving to your wrists, and then coming to the palms of your hands as best as you can. And as you hold your awareness there, you may notice that the sensations begin to shift, change. Perhaps you experience heat or cold, or just a tingling. See if you can notice anything. Bringing your focus now to your fingers. See if you can notice the tips of your fingers. Breathe in, come to your eyes, moving your focus to your eyes, and begin to notice the darkness. The awareness. The fact that, not that you have awareness, but you are awareness. Darkness behind your eyelids. You can have awareness of thoughts that may be coming and going. Awareness of sounds. Going back to the awareness of darkness. As you breathe out, soften your eyes, moving your focus towards your mouth, in particular your tongue, and allow it to soften. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. And then as you breathe out, allow your face to soften. On your next breath in, bringing your focus to your body as a whole again. Once again, just getting a little awareness, sense of your whole self as best as you can. Notice your posture. On your next breath in, you come to your inner space. And by that we mean your thoughts and how you're feeling. So notice your thoughts first. What kind of thoughts are now apparent to you? Feel tired, fatigued, fresh. Now bring your focus towards your chest. Begin to notice the movement of your breath in rhythm with the movement of your chest. Notice if you slow your breath down, the movements at your chest slow down. Deeper into your chest. Almost in the center of your chest, the center of your body. And you hold your awareness there, and your awareness begins to read. Notice how you feel. What feeling is dominant right now? Contentment, irritation. Is this moment distressful, stressful, anxious? Or is it calm? How do you feel? On your next breath out, you open your awareness and allow all the sounds around you to come to you. And you listen with your whole space, allowing these sounds to come to your body as a whole. Gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch the breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. And as you watch the breath, an awareness emerges. Stay with your breath. Gently bring your focus, noticing the start of your in-breath and the end of your in-breath, noticing the start of your out-breath and the end of your out, as best as you can. It has a start and an end. The out-breath has a start and an end. Stay with your breath. And to move deeper into our awareness, we begin to follow the out-breath all the way till the end. Trying to pinpoint exactly when you finish it. And as we follow our out-breath all the way, we notice that we get deeper and deeper into this moment. Simply following our out-breath all the way till the end. Letting go of all that there is holding us. Becoming awareness itself. Following your breath all the way till the end. See if you can notice the tiny little gap at the end of your out-breath before the in-breath begins. Stay with your breath. Notice how your breath feels now. Notice the qualities of your breath. Does it feel fast or does it feel slow? Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? Does your breath feel cool or does it feel warm? Bringing your focus to the sound of your breath. Listening to your breath as intently as you can. as intently as you can. And on your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. And allowing these bells to take us deep into the silence from which we can listen. Notice the silence, beyond thoughts, beyond sensation, beyond emotions. You and I are silent and still, timelessly eternal. While the world around you unfolds, you remain silent, still, consciously flowing. Notice how peaceful you feel at the end of this spell. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath. Rooted in the stillness and the silence. Next breath out, expanding your awareness to become aware of your body as best as you can. Notice the seat still holds you where you are. You have sensations in your body, gently sensing your thighs, moving down from your knees to your ankles, and finally coming to the soles of your feet. Notice the back is still straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed, comfortable. Your closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, opening your eyes. Take your time.